Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this call. It is Monday evening, hence Crypto Talk. It's Crypto Talk time. And thank you, Jason, for allowing the people into the room in the background while we get the show on the road. And can you believe it? We're on the 14th of June already. We nearly at next week, Monday evening, it will be solstice and we will start going back into summer already. Time is just flying by, not waiting for any person. I trust that every one of you are healthy and every one of you are hot, or at least warm where you are tonight. Hot is not the appropriate word with regards to COVID, is it? But that you're wealthy, healthy, and warm tonight, and that you have a cup of coffee. Welcome to Crypto Talk. Tonight we're going to delve into crypto. We're going to look at DeFi, and we are privileged to have our old favorite friend, the CEO of Altcoin Trader, Richard de Sousa, with us in the room tonight. Let's talk DeFi. And the team, as you all know, that Richard is going crazy in Altcoin Trader with regards to the next level in being able to rolling out DeFi when they added the Binance coin and the Binance Smart Chain. And as you're all aware, we can now transfer our USDT and our Binance Smart Chain coins into Altcoin Trader and out using the Binance Smart Chain and BEP20 coins. And Richard, I know you're going to say more about that, but we're doing a little bit on this side to get our community informed or keep them informed. But Richard, you said tonight you would like to talk about DeFi and the next level for us as a community with regards to DeFi. And Richard, I muted you earlier while I was talking. So if you will be so kind as to unmute yourself. And without further ado, I don't think you need that great an introduction. Everyone knows that you're the CEO. You are the founder. You are the passion. I think that's the key word, not the management or the coder or anything, the passion. Just Richard, your passion. And we tip our hats to you for your passion in crypto, and we absolutely love it. And thank you that you're making time, spending time with us on this call tonight.
Donnie, thanks very much for the introduction. As always, it's a great pleasure to be here on a Monday night to talk to people about crypto. It is, as you quite correctly pointed out, a passion of mine. DeFi, decentralized finance, the alternative financial system that we are currently building is something that I am very, very excited about. You know, when we look at the markets and we see the markets are down like we looked at over the last couple of weeks, one of the things that always keeps me extremely driven and extremely motivated is the fact that DeFi is so vibrant. There is so much happening in the DeFi space, and that is indicative of the fact that the markets cannot tumble. Crypto is here to stay. This alternative financial system that we're building is no longer fragile. It has taken hold, and I don't think it can ever be stamped out. So we're going to talk about passive income. We're going to talk about DeFi. We're going to talk about opportunities to make yourself wealth, to make yourself a good living, and just things that we should be doing in this modern age to ensure that our financial future is secure. So statistics reveal that the average millionaire has got 7 streams of passive income, as opposed to the average person who works for a living, who makes 80% of their money from their daily grind. Okay, now I'm talking about US dollar millionaires. But this in itself just puts you in a totally different mindset, because all of a sudden, if you have a problem or a hiccup with either your main day-to-day job or with one of your many passive income streams, it's not that stressful. It gives you the confidence, it gives you the financial freedom and the ability to focus on what you need to do to make sure that your financial future is secure. If you're in a position where you've only got one source of income, I want to urge you to pay attention tonight and to start thinking about the passive income and what you need to do to make sure that you are not totally dependent on the will and the whims of someone else. Now, DeFi is reasonably complicated, and a lot of people battle with it. And because of that, and I'm just going to quickly share my screen, guys, so that everyone can see what I'm talking about, and we'll go through it step by step. Now, because of the complexity of DeFi and, a lot of people not willing to actually get involved in DeFi, Altcoin Trader has got EasySave. EasySave is, let me just see, am I sharing my screen here? I believe I am. Okay. So, Don, if you can just confirm, you guys can see what's on my screen?
We've just see your face still.
Okay, well, let's try that again.
That's it. There we go.
Okay. So as I was saying, if you are not willing to get involved in this DeFi, or if you just find this DeFi to be too complicated, too much of a bother, Altcoin Trader has EasySave. EasySave is exactly what the name implies. It's the ability to go onto a platform, simply stake your cryptocurrencies with a few clicks of the mouse and earn that passive income. But if you want to take it a step further, and guys, what I'm sharing with you tonight is what actually happens in many cases behind the scenes at Altcoin Trader, so that we can bring you the yields that you can see here on EasySave. So before we get into DeFi, I just want to go over the different chains and the different sort of contracts and give you a broad strokes idea of what is happening in the space. Now, this is going to be classified as not a beginner's talk, sort of a medium to advanced talk. We're going to be doing rapid fire. So if you don't follow and if you don't understand everything, remember the idea of this discussion tonight is to point out as many opportunities as I can in a limited time. If you want more of a tutorial type of, video style, please feel free to go to my YouTube channel, subscribe there. I am currently doing a DeFi series. I'm doing different DeFi tutorials and trying to express ways that you can maximize profits with individual platforms. But as I said, we're all familiar with Ethereum and we're familiar with MetaMask. Now, I want to talk about 3 chains tonight, that being Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, and of course, Polygon, which was previously known as the Matic chain. These are 3 chains that I am very, very bullish of. Binance Chain, just very quickly, is a direct copy of Ethereum. We know that it's a Chinese copy, if I could put it that way. And the only disadvantage to Binance Chain is that a lot of people consider it to be centralized because it has 20 odd nodes. So that is the disadvantage. Of course, the massive advantage is that it is super fast, super friendly to use, and extremely cheap. So you've always got to weigh up the pros and cons. Matic or Polygon is a layer 2 solution built on Ethereum. There's a bridge where you move over to the Polygon platform, and it is super fast and even faster than the Binance chain. Now, when you have MetaMask, you can use all 3 of these chains with very little effort. And I'm just going to show you on MetaMask how easy it is. If you just go to this pull down here, you can set up the different chains. You can see that I've got many chains here, but there's Matic, there's Binance Smart Chain, and of course the Ethereum mainnet. If you do want to set up a chain, there's lots of articles online. It's very easy to do. You simply copy and paste a couple of fields, you click save, and you've got that chain basically set up on your MetaMask. Now, it's important to realize that you have to be on the right chain. The private keys, the 12 words, and the addresses are all the same for all 3 chains. So in other words, if you have an Ethereum address and you have the 12 words that were made with that Ethereum address, you can have that address on the Binance Smart Chain and on the Polygon chain as well. It is the same address. So that makes it a lot easier if you control the address. You can't make mistakes sending coins to addresses that you don't have the private keys. Now, what we're going to start off with is the old favorite and what I like to think of the OG in the DeFi space, which is Oasis or MakerDAO. And this is a platform where you can take a decentralized finance loan. So the reason that you might need to take a DeFi loan is, of course, because you need to have collateral to get into DeFi. DeFi can give you amazing returns, but without that initial capital, without that initial seed money, you can't actually start earning any yield. So if you've got Bitcoin, if you've got Ethereum, or if you've got any of the assets that are visible on this list, you can stake them on the oasis.app website, and you can withdraw a percentage of those funds, and you can start investing those funds in the DeFi space. Taking a decentralized loan is, in fact, the essence, or in my mind, the beginning of DeFi. This is where you do not swap one asset for another. You take your asset, you leverage it to get better yield. With that said, of course, once you've taken a loan, you can do whatever you want with the money. Now, touching on the three chains again, and just to try and build parallels in your mind so that you can understand they're all similar, they're just on different chains. On the Ethereum blockchain, we've got something called DeFi Pulse. DeFi Pulse is a very, very good resource if you want to go and research the top projects, top DeFi projects on the Ethereum blockchain. So as you can see here, we've got Aave in the first position, we've got MakerDAO, which was what I was showing you, and in third position, we've got Curve Finance. The identical, or not the identical, but the similar concept on the Binance Smart Chain would be DeFi Station, okay? And it does a very similar thing. It just lists the top DeFi platforms and tells you what to do. Just putting my phone on silent, guys. So here you can come and you can look for projects, because obviously tonight I can't talk about every project, but there's a lot of projects and they're normally listed in order of, how much value is locked in that protocol. And that also bleeds on to the fact that how trusted is that protocol and how safe is that protocol. So once again, Ethereum, we've got DeFi Pulse. Binance Smart Chain, we've got DeFi Station. Then we've got DEXs, or decentralized exchanges. On Ethereum, we should all know Uniswap. Uniswap.exchange is one of the biggest decentralized exchanges in the world. Also on Ethereum, we've got 1inch. I'm just bringing this up because we're going to talk about that. Then on the Binance Smart Chain, the big one, the competitor to Uniswap would, of course, be PancakeSwap. And then on Matic, or the Polygon network, the competitor to PancakeSwap or to Uniswap would, of course, be QuickSwap. We're going to come back to these exchanges and just very quickly gloss over how you can earn yield by getting involved and participating in those exchanges. So, quick recap. We've got 3 chains. Each chain has got a place where they can tell you about the top DeFi projects. Each chain has typically got 1 or more decentralized exchanges where once you've got some coins, some collateral, you can switch out and get into your different type of coins. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. This is not complex stuff. There's so much information online about all of these aspects that I'm discussing. This we are categorizing as a broad overview so that you can get in and you can find opportunities to earn huge yield. Now, the first one that I want to start with, and one of my favorites at the moment, is, of course, PancakeSwap. Now, PancakeSwap is more than just a decentralized exchange. PancakeSwap gives you 2 opportunities that I would like to focus on tonight. It gives you a lot more opportunities, but we're going to just focus on 2 that allow you to make passive income. So the first opportunity is the farms. Now, what a farm is a place where, with an automatic market maker, you provide liquidity pools. Now, this word liquidity pools is going to come up over and over again. Liquidity pools is basically when you provide a pool of 2 or more assets that allows traders to trade. So what happens is you might supply BNB coin and, let's say, cake. You would supply those 2 coins and traders would trade them up and down. They would trade with the liquidity or the coins that you've provided. You would always keep those coins and you would earn commission on that trading. But when farming comes in, because when you provide those 2 coins, you get a receipt token, which is called liquidity tokens, and they're generally called LP tokens. Every exchange has different ways of naming them, but generally it is always referred to in some sense or other as an LP token. So you stake the LP tokens and you start to earn these rewards. Now, guys, we will allow for a few questions afterwards. So if I sort of if something's not very clear, we can talk about it afterwards. But if you had to provide, like I explained in the example, Cake and Binance Coin, you would be earning 55.9% per annum on that token. Now, it's important to know that that is above the commission that you earn on trading. And the trading commission is typically 0.25% of every trade that happens. So what happens is you've provided a percentage of the liquidity pool. Let's say you've provided 1%. You will earn 1%. You will earn 2.5% of the 1% of the trades, if that makes sense. But what we can start to see here is that the percentages in some cases are extremely high. Here we have 55. Here we have 692% per annum, 260, 29, 14, and these insane earning potentials. Now, you might be thinking, well, if they're so different, why wouldn't everyone just go for the extremely high percentages? If you don't understand a term called impermanent loss, I would urge everyone to stay away from farms with incredibly high percentages. I personally, when I stake coins for Altcoin Trader to make yield for Easy Save, I only stake coins of equal weight. So impermanent loss can happen when you stake 2 coins. If you've got Ethereum and let's say, for example, US dollars, if the Ethereum price goes very high, of course, traders will take advantage of that. You will end up with less Ethereum and more US dollars. If the price of Ethereum starts to drop, you will have more Ethereum and less US dollars. So with that in mind, because remember, you are providing liquidity and traders have the ability to take advantage of your trading pool, you can suffer impermanent loss. And for that reason, I will only go with coins that are the same weight. Like, for example, DAI USDT or a coin of that nature. So that is automatic market making liquidity provision, which is really something that is very exciting. You need to have a reasonable understanding. Let's stay with PancakeSwap and move on to something that's a lot more simpler. If you guys are not following, don't worry. These concepts for people that have heard them for the first time can be confusing. So if we go to pools, now pools is something that I just love because it's simple, guys. There's nothing complicated about it. You buy Cake token. Remember, you could go to PancakeSwap, the exchange. You could swap whatever token for Cake. You could come and lock it in this pool and earn 111% per year. So basically, every year you will more than double your money and then some. The nice thing about this is you can see your interest growing after about 5 or 10 minutes. You can see how much you've made. And what I like to do is get to a situation where I'm earning X amount of dollars per day so that I know what yield I can supply to my customers. But if you're doing it in an individual basis, what I would suggest is get to a position where you can earn $1 per day. Now, that doesn't sound like much, but that means that you've gone through the motions. Then, by simply increasing your resources, note, I'm not saying your effort, just your resources, you could get that to $10 a day. And if you times your resources by 10 a second time, you could get it to $100 a day. So guys, start earning a small amount and consider it a tap of running water that once you have a trickle, you can just turn it on and get it flowing and gushing. And that way you can start a very successful stream of passive income. So here you can earn a Cake token in all of these pools, in fact, but you can stake different tokens. So if you're bullish about, for example, any of these tokens, Bondly, or any tokens that are in these pools, you can simply come and stake them, and you will earn that cake every day. You have the option to harvest the cake or to reinvest it. If you're not farming cake, you'd have to reinvest it into a cake pool, and these interest rates are just insane. Guys, this is not going to be around forever. Well, at least not in my mind. The reason that we are seeing such insane interest, especially on the Binance Smart Chain and on Polygon or Matic, is simply because these are new chains that are trying to get market dominance. So they are offering high rewards to attract investors, traders, and farmers. Okay, so that's PancakeSwap, one of my favorites, a lot of fun. If you take away nothing from this evening's discussion, remember Pancake pools, by simply staking cake, will earn you a yield of 111%. There's two here. There's auto cake and manual cake. Manual cake seems a lot less, but it's actually not. It's the same interest rate, except that this one automatically compounds your cake, and this one you actually have to manually do it. So I found that if you do this every 24 hours, and it's a lot of fun to harvest and reinvest your cake, you basically will get the same returns out of both of these pools. Now, the next thing that I'm going to quickly move on to is Venus.io. I have recently done a video on my YouTube channel about Venus. It is a really nice platform, and it has a lot of really cool things going on. If you guys are watching, I'm busy changing the network in my MetaMask account so that we can work on this network. Now, what I like about Venus, it's a reasonably new protocol, as is Binance Smart Chain, and they have some really crazy incentives. So what they're doing is they pay you in the Venus token, which is XVS. They reward you for taking loans, borrowing money, or supplying money. So as you can see, we've got BNB here, and you can earn 5.15%. Now, that is a combination of the native token being the BNB that has been invested in there, and of course the XVS. So you might have seen that interest rate just dropped to 3.04. If I click it here, we can see it goes to 5.15. So what is happening there is we're earning 3% in Binance Coin, and we're earning an additional 2% in the XVS token. Now, if you supply money, you'll earn that. If you borrow money, and guys, this is where there is absolutely amazing opportunities. You are paid in some cases to borrow money. So if you are borrowing the native token XVS, you can earn 80%. If I take the rewards off, you'll see you'll actually be paying. So you'll be paying to borrow it, but you will be rewarded at the same time. If that concept's a bit vague, we're going to see that in more clarity when we get to Aave. So here, what you can do is you can come and you can supply tokens. You can enable collateral. So you've supplied tokens, you're earning interest. That in itself would be great. Now you can borrow money against your collateral. If you borrow that money in VAI, so remember on Ethereum, in Oasis, you borrow DAI, D-A-I. Here you offer VAI, V-A-I. The nice thing about borrowing VAI is it is interest-free. So you have an interest-free loan, but wait, it's better than an interest-free loan because you are earning money on the original capital that you staked. But you can take that a step further, and you can stake that borrowed money in the vault. If you were to do that, you would be earning an additional 3.3%. And that, with so you are earning twice on borrowed money. And that is indicative of the fact that Venus is reasonably new, and they are trying to get people to come to the protocol. They are trying to build up the liquidity. Okay, so Venus, a very, very good platform, something that I like very much, and I use it all the time for Altcoin Trader. Now, we're going to move to the next one, which is Aave, so we can get through as many as we can. Let's go onto the Matic network. Let's have a look at the markets here. Okay, once again, Aave is a lending and borrowing platform, but they have traditionally always been on Ethereum. Now they're on Polygon or Matic. So with them being on Matic, they are offering rewards. So you'll see the three places here. If you click on Polygon, you will start to see the ability to earn insane interest when lending and borrowing. So if you deposit, you earn 2.1% if you deposit the Matic token. And you can choose from any of these assets that's available. We're going to focus on the top one, Matic. But then you will be rewarded an additional 5.72% in rewards in Matic. Now, if that isn't enough, you have then the ability to borrow against the collateral that you are earning interest on. And you will be charged 7.51%. But you will be paid 12.68%. In other words, there's a difference there of what, round about 7% that you are in a positive from borrowing money. Now, because you have borrowed that money, you can then supply it again and earn an additional 6%. So guys, once you start doing this, you're going to see the super interest that you can earn from hyper compounding alone. Now, I've got to warn you, don't be too crazy with this, because you can basically take $1,000 and start earning interest on over $2,500. So it gives you the ability to leverage in a huge manner. What I did is I started small amounts and then I built it up and experimented with the protocol to understand exactly how it works. But the potential for earning massive passive income because of the rewards we're getting from Aave is definitely not to be understated or overlooked. The next protocol we're going to look at very quickly is Curve. Curve, once again, has traditionally always been on the Ethereum protocol, but it is now on Matic. So if we go to network, we can choose Polygon, and we've got 2 pools only in Polygon. With these pools, you have the ability to stake stable coins. So you can just come here with DAI that you've loaned from Oasis, and you can earn 3.62%, which is not great, but you will be rewarded in Matic at a rate of 18.61%, which starts to become very impressive. My personal thoughts on Curve is it is a very dynamic protocol. I love it. The interface really sucks. If you're thinking of Windows 3.1 and the old retro computers, this is what you're going to be faced with on this protocol, on this platform. So get used to that. It is not great interface. It's not a very user-friendly site, but the returns are nice and I enjoy them. If we look at SushiSwap, it is very similar to PancakeSwap. It also has multiple networks. What you'll notice is most of these blue chip DeFi protocols and sites, applications have started embracing multi-networks. So in other words, in this case, Matic and Binance Smart Chain. And you can go over to pools, you can go over to Yield, and you can take advantage of a lot of the offerings that they have with the basic understanding of how to provide liquidity. Once again, tutorials on my YouTube channel. But just to give you a quick look here, this I would consider a safe pool. It's got 11% return. In addition to that, because it is a liquidity pool, you will also earn interest on every trade that happens. In essence, it's similar to owning your own exchange, but it's a decentralized exchange. You are part of the capital. You earn part of the rewards of the trades that are made on a daily, sometimes even hourly basis. So this can become very lucrative, a little bit more advanced, but certainly something not to shy away from if you want to get into the space. The last thing that I'm going to show you guys is QuickSwap. So QuickSwap, once again, you can see a very similar format. This, remember, we said would be the Uniswap. So this is the Matic version of Uniswap. Also, the Pancake version on the Matic network. So yeah, you can swap whatever tokens you want to swap, but they also have pools where you can stake liquidity and earn not only the commission, but a percentage of the trades that happen all the time. So just by going onto these sites and looking at them, you can see that there is really good opportunities with the percentages that you can earn with all of these pools and rewards that you can get. So guys, I'm going to leave it at that. As I said, rapid fire. I just wanted to really show you all the opportunities that are around with DeFi. But just when you're thinking about this, and just going back to what is actually happening, because we've looked at practical examples. What is happening is an alternative financial system is being born. It has been brought into existence with billions of dollars locked in value on these protocols. So next time you're thinking, I don't know if crypto's here, I've got my doubts, just try and fathom the amount of work, the amount of innovation, the whole way that people like myself, for Altcoin Trader, like the EasySave platform, what we are doing to generate yield. I mean, the other day, a well-known customer of mine said, Richard, did you ever think you would be an investment banker? Because in essence, that is part of my core function. We take funds in the form of crypto, which as we know is unregulated, so it's totally legal, and we invest those funds and bring a yield to our clients. But now what is happening, I'm trying to build this ecosystem and show you guys how we do it so that you can earn greater yield by doing it yourself. So guys, my YouTube channel has now moved a little bit away from Altcoin Trader. Altcoin Trader has got an official YouTube channel where all the giveaways will still take place, but I'm going to go into more of this decentralized world. I'm going to go into cool crypto stuff that doesn't necessarily build the Altcoin Trader brand, but because that's my passion, that's what I'm going to be doing on my channel. So make sure that you do hit that subscribe button so that you can be kept up to date with the latest innovations. I do make one video a week at least. So it's not a lot of watching. It's probably 4 videos a month. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this evening's chat about DeFi. If we've got a little bit of time, we can have a few questions, and I'll hand back to you, Donnie.
Cool. Thank you, Richard. And that was quite a mouthful. I've made a whole page full of notes here with all the addresses of the different exchanges that you've gone into and or change that you've gone into, let me rather call it that, and those that I've not been on. And thank you very much I will definitely have to go do some homework on a few of them, but I can tell you that I am in the pools on PancakeSwap, all courtesy of you, but I've somewhere gone to the automatic pool. I'm not going there daily. So I've gone in there to check, and I see that I'm actually earning off it. So, but I don't have to claim anything. The system is doing it all for me because I'm on the automatic pool, as you warned us against it, because then you're complacent. You don't go claim it every day. But I'm just joking. But thank you, Richard. It's always a privilege to have you on our call, and your level of knowledge is only your level of passion is the only thing exceeding your level of knowledge, and we absolutely love that, and we love what you are doing at Altcoin Trader. And I'm going to ask for questions, and I'm going to ask people to type the questions in the chat box. I'm first going to ask James. I've got James Ferks here as a co-host on the call, so he can unmute at this moment. James, if you would pose your question to Richard.
Thanks, Donnie. And hi, Richard. Thanks a lot for giving us that walkthrough. It was very, very interesting and helpful. I just had a question around the risks associated with this kind of investment, with a DeFi investment. If you put in a sizable sum and maybe the project or the protocol goes bust, is that something that can happen? And what is the strike rate of one that's successful, or a particular coin or protocol losing its value, and then you're sort of, excuse my language, but up shit's creek?
James, that's actually a very good question. I actually had a section here in my notes to talk about the risks, and because I felt I was running a bit out of time, I just totally forgot about it. But there are, of course, risks associated with these protocols. And the risks are twofold. Like in the early days, we had the risk of these protocols being hacked. We haven't seen that for a long time. A more elegant way of describing it is that these protocols these days can get exploited. And they're typically exploited by people taking flash loans. Flash loans are loans that you can take with no collateral as long as the loan is closed within the same transaction. And so we have seen a lot of protocols losing their clients' funds because hackers or coders are actually taking flash loans and exploiting these protocols to huge, to hundreds of, to millions of dollars. But as DeFi evolves and as these contracts become more used and they're out in the wild, they become more and more safe. So certainly the contracts, the platforms that we've discussed this evening are reasonably safe, or at least in my mind are safe enough for me to trust putting funds into. But it is a very good question, and it is something that I certainly suggest people work with in a small way to, just come to terms with it. Just to give you what happened on Oasis, which, as I said, was the OG of DeFi protocols. Last year, when we had a crash, we actually had a situation where the people that auction the collateral to make sure that the loans are paid and liquidate the loans, the Ethereum network was congested, and a lot of people lost all of their collateral as opposed to only some of it that should have been needed to pay off the loan. So it is still a very new space. There are things that are kinks that are being worked out, but I would say we mostly passed that. But certainly new protocols, not only hacking, exploits, but if a team of anonymous users puts together a platform, they can do what we call a rug pull and actually just exit with all the client's funds. In other words, steal all the funds. So that's why you need to look at DeFi Pulse, DeFi Station, and stick with the top projects, especially if you have low tolerance for risk or you're just starting. If you want to gamble and you've got small amounts of money that you just want to go for these insanely high returns, by all means, go for the less known protocols, because if you get in early to a protocol, that's normally where you make the money. But very good question and something to consider. Don't put your life savings in until you feel like you have got a couple of miles behind you in the DeFi space.
Brilliant. Thanks, Richard.
Cool. Thank you, James, for that question, and Richard for an amazing answer. And Richard, I don't know if you want to expand on anything that you typed to someone in the chat box, if there's any of those questions that you feel you have to tidy up with one or two words.
Donnie, I don't really think so. I hope I've answered them in the chat, as best I can. The one question I was a bit confused, but I did try and answer it. There's just so much with the DeFi. And I think that what's going to happen is as the people start to use it, a million questions are going to come to light. There's so much we haven't covered tonight, like what are the liquidation prices? At what rate are you liquidated? What happens when you're liquidated? You don't lose all your collateral. So really, once again, at the risk of repeating myself, this was a sort of high-level view, rapid fire glossary view. There's a lot of detail that hasn't been discussed, and research is needed, so.
Cool, but thank you, Richard, because we know you are doing the research in the background, and exposing us to that makes us taking the step, as I have my my auto cake that I'm earning. So thank you for that. I don't know if Ed, Jason, any one of you with a question to Richard before we open it? I see I don't get a question from Ed or Jason. I'm going to open the mics. If there's any, Ed, I see that you're unmuted.
Yes, thanks very much, Daniel, and thanks to Richard, who's always welcome here, and with your great presentations. and your YouTubes. I just wanted to share with you, maybe just your view about the last month, around about the 12th of May, after the Elon tweet. We saw massive liquidations on Venus, XVS. It was the XVS price was manipulated, and then there were many liquidations because of the Ethereum drop, from 4,100, 4,200 to around about 2,000, and many people were. I can actually say from what I've picked up, lives were destroyed. Financial lives were destroyed. So we must be on the lookout, for market fluctuations, but also these tweets that come in every now and then that just goes haywire. But maybe just your view on the amounts of liquidations that we saw last month. I myself was in the market for a loan, and that episode there actually put me off, and I did do my things on my traditional things. And but that has actually put me off from taking a loan at that point in time.
Ed, you raise a very interesting point about liquidations, and I was actually liquidated on Venus, but I'm going to tell you how that turned out in just a second. But for those of you that don't know what a liquidation is, I just want to quickly cover that. When you put up collateral for a loan, in some cases, you're allowed to take out 50% of the value of your collateral. Now, of course, you normally take that out in a stable coin. So you take dollars. So if you've put up Bitcoin and you've loaned dollars and the price of Bitcoin drops, you no longer have the collateral to cover your loan. So what typically happens on these platforms is they will sell your collateral, or at least a part of your collateral, and pay back the stable coin that you own. There's normally a liquidation penalty fee. On Oasis, it's 13%. And then they give you the balance. So you don't lose everything, or at least you shouldn't lose everything. Now, with the Binance or the Venus liquidation, I actually was caught napping because I realized that the markets were dropping, and I secured all my loans by shoring them up with additional capital. But I forgot about a BNB loan, and I got liquidated. And it was quite a substantial loan. But the good news is that after the liquidation, remember, you still got the money that you loaned. So in other words, I had taken a very high amount of Vicoin, and I still had that. And because the price of BNB continued to plummet, I was able to buy slightly more than my original capital. So I got out of that totally unscathed, and that was even though I was negligent. So in other words, I got liquidated, and for that moment in time, I had suffered huge financial loss. But by the time I got to my computer and realized what had happened, the Binance coin continued to fall. And with the borrowed funds that I had staked in the vault, I was able to withdraw that loan funds and buy back my BNB and get actually 2 or 3 more BNB coins than I had originally. So yes, liquidations can hurt, but I think a lot of the time people overestimate the damage, because it is basically 13% of the value of the loan that you lose. Venus is very kind. They don't liquidate with huge penalties, and they seem to have a high tolerance. They don't liquidate easy. You really have to abuse the platform before you get liquidated. So it's not that you lose everything. You lose 10, 13% depending on the liquidation price. So that should be a bit of encouragement. And of course, the main thing here is make sure that you don't do what I did and take such an excessive loan. Take 20%, 30%, especially when starting. Make sure that you are extremely safe so that you don't have to worry about liquidation.
Cool. Thank you, Richard. And I assume, Ed, that will have answered the question. You can come back now if you think it's not sufficient. But allow me to just for one moment share my screen. And I know it's black at this moment. It will wake up in the next moment. And we've got a question in the chat box from who was it again? Stefani Milan. Stefani asking any thing with regards to, I should not put that there, anything with regards to ADA staking on the horizon. Stefani, if you go to Altcoin Trader, easy save. I'm not even locked in just on Altcoin Trader. I've gone to easy save, and there you can see on ADA, if you put your ADA into easy save on Altcoin Trader, you get 5.8% per annum in interest on your ADA with zero fee and 0 time locked in. So thanks to Richard and Altcoin Trader, that's an easy one to get your ADA that you want to keep in any case, to get that ADA in the market, and to make sure that you own the asset but earn on that asset, because you're going to hold the asset for a longer term. And I assume that, I trust that I've answered that. Ladies and gentlemen, one last question from someone. I will allow one more question. If there's someone with a question that jumps up, I've allowed you to unmute if there's a question. Otherwise, I'm going to start wrapping up by asking Jason, will you give us your last thoughts for the evening?
Thanks, Daniel. Thanks very much, Richard, for sharing your knowledge and your insights. It's really, really inspiring to hear from you. And yes, we can clearly see that the fundamentals in the crypto space are developing. Things are happening. And I think we mustn't just focus on the daily prices that we see in crypto. Let's focus rather in a couple of months' time, in a couple of years' time, where we know that Bitcoin is going to go to $1 million. And it's very, very exciting times. And Daniel, to be part of a community, to share our knowledge and what we see on a daily basis, we really are in a good place. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy your evening.
Cool. Thank you, Jason. We really appreciate you. Jason is the subject matter expert on crypto trading in the crypto school, at the crypto school. So thank you, Jason, for your contribution always. I see that Lee Mitchell, I see that you're asking the BNB to transfer BNB in and out of Altcoin Trader from your Binance wallet. Remember, BNB is now on the BEP20 smart Binance Smart Chain, and the fee is, negligent. I've transferred, as I explained last week, 20,000 Rand in USDT for someone, assisted someone to transfer that, and it would have cost $56 to transfer it in USDT. That would have been the transfer fee, because of it's part of an ERC20 token, the Ethereum gas fee. But because I can now do it to Binance, from Binance to Altcoin Trader on the Binance Smart Chain, make sure that you select the correct deposit address, and the gas fee was 80 US cents, 0.8 of a US dollar. Richard, your last comments, and maybe you want to answer, reply to that as well, but your last comments for the evening.
Thanks very much, Donnie. Yeah, so it's not a special that we're running. The fees are that cheap, and it takes us some time to tweak our site, because we try not to really make fees. We often get crucified because of the Ethereum fees, people complaining. But guys, remember that those are network fees. So we try and pass those savings on to you. So hopefully for the foreseeable future, and when we eventually get Matic on the site, the fees are going to be even cheaper. My last word before going, guys, is with passive income, it's something that I'm very passionate about. And a lot of people don't feel that it's worth the effort because they don't have enough capital to get started. So I'd just like to encourage everyone, even if you get to a point where you're making $1 a day, you're in the system, you understand what is going on. It is then a very small step to move that from $1 to $2 to $10 to $100, to a point where you are no longer dependent on the enslaving nature that we are currently experiencing with this existing financial system. Guys, start with $1 a day. A journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. That's it from me, Donnie.
Cool. Thank you, Richard. What wise words to end off this evening. And we really appreciate your contribution to the crypto community in South Africa. Richard, I know we don't say it often enough, but we so appreciate what you guys at Altcoin Trader is doing. And please give our thanks to the rest of your management team and to the employees. I mean, we always just get good feedback from the community with regards to everyone's experience at Altcoin Trader. And thank you for making time, being on this call, and we absolutely appreciate you. And we look forward to that little thing that you slipped there tonight with regard to Matic or Polygon onto altcoin. And the next thing that we really want to see is to start making loans through Altcoin Trader, man. That should be possible, Richard, man. Come on, help us. And I'm saying that tongue in cheek just because I have you on the call. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for an amazing evening. It's always our privilege to serve you at the Crypto School. Thank you for everyone that assisted me in running the show tonight.